In this moment, Nancy Reagan symbolized the grief of a nation, burying her husband after a long battle with Alzheimer's. Her devotion to Ronald Reagan was clear. It was the constant theme of their long marriage. Born in 1921 in New York, Anne Robbins, Nancy was actually a nickname. She became an actress, but when she was mistakenly put on the blacklist as a suspected communist, she turned to the president of the Screen Actors Guild, Ron Reagan, for help. They married a few years later.
The Admiral should have told me not to worry.
They did one movie together, but then she put her career aside to raise their two children and to help his political career, from governor of California to U.S. president, elected in 1980.
I think I may have helped a little, maybe.
There were often questions about how much she helped. This incident reinforced the idea that she was really running the show.
Doing everything we can.
Doing everything we can.
Thank you, sir.
She denied having that much control, but later admitted she did play a role in her husband's presidency.
I was more aware always of people who were end running him, and he wasn't. So I would step in and say, you've got to watch out for him.
That meant she often clashed with his staff, much more so after this assassination attempt, when she demanded final say over his schedule. It made headlines when it was revealed she was consulting an astrologer first. As a First Lady, she was often controversial. Raised in a life of privilege, she was often portrayed as an elitist, targeted for remodeling the White House and replacing the china. The money was donated, like many of her expensive designer gowns, but that didn't stop the criticism. As First Lady, she championed pairing the elderly with at-risk youth and famously urging kids to
Just say no.
Her anti-drug message brought the usage numbers down for a bit, but in the long run made very little difference to the statistics. Out of the White House, she did impact the debate over stem cell research. Convinced it could have provided help to her ailing husband, she pushed Republicans to abandon their moral objection, and it was enough to force President George W. Bush to find a compromise, allowing some research to be done. Her life, she said, really began the day she married her husband. Her intense love and devotion to him and his legacy will in many ways define her own.